Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Look what I've got here. This, I don't know, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, folks. This could be the worst thing I've ever tasted, or it could be alright, or it could be fantastic. I don't think it's going to be fantastic. This, I mean, it doesn't look too bad in colour, does it? Is a Pseudo-Lager cider that I made a while ago. It's basically the Wilko's Summer Fruits cider kit with the Wilko's Light Golden Lager kit. That's it. I brewed it to 20 litres, I think, because the original kits are a little bit light on their own. And you know, you've got to give these things a go, haven't you? And this all came out of a discussion, really, of me sticking a list of hops and things up on Facebook some time ago, saying, look, I've got all these hops and things and I'm bored and I don't know what to do. Anyone got any ideas? So Dave the Welsh Brewer suggested that we put a sort of ale or a cider together, and then I thought, well, that's a good idea, because I tried the Bulldog strawberry ale and it turned out horrible and I had to chuck it. So I thought, well, maybe I can recreate something like that. And I thought, well, you know, it's summer, maybe it would be a little bit better to go with something a bit lighter, like a lager, and do a kind of sort of pseudo cider lager thing. And because I also had a very good friend, Mr. Mark Crewolf, send me a mango lager a while ago, a bottled mango lager, and there is a review on YouTube somewhere, folks, on my channel, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought, well, you know, let's go a little bit lighter and stick the cider with a lager and see what happens. So yes, it's carved, which is always good, isn't it? I wasn't quite sure what glass to use, so I'm going to stick with the old Spiegel ale. I'm not going to tap it though, because it's getting a bit predictable, that, isn't it? So here we go. It should be fairly okay, and yeah, it's not had an awful amount of time. Looks fairly clear, doesn't it? Fairly clear in the glass there. Decent carbonation, as you can see. It's where does it smell of? It smells of the artificial Wilko's mixed berry cider, is what it smells of. And I suspect that's what it's going to taste of, really, because all we've done is, instead of just filling it up with water, we've chucked a lager kit in there. So we've just basically numbed it down a little bit. And also it shouldn't be as thin as it usually is, because I brewed it a little short too. This is where I'm a bit nervous. This is where we dive in, folks. Watch the look on my face. That will give it all away as I taste this pseudo cider lager. Here we go. It tastes like a cider lager. However, it is still very sweet. That cider kit, folks, is not the best in the world. I've got to be honest with you. This, introducing a lager into it to give it more of a sort of a malty tone, it sort of has worked. It has done that. There is a malty tone to it. You can tell, well, I can tell that there's a lager kit in there. Well, not a lager kit, but you can tell there's malt in there. I don't know whether I'm going to keep it though. It's not good. It's all right. Maybe it would be a little bit better if I put it in the fridge for a bit longer. However, it's carved enough. It needs to go into the shed of doom for a month or so, maybe another couple of months, and then I'll come back to it and do another proper review of it on a later date. But the artificial flavours are still there, you know. There's no getting rid of that, I think, and that's a shame. Maybe if you did throw it in with a slightly darker and more hoppier ale, then that would cover up some of those artificial flavours. It is pretty much today a poor-ish cider drink. It's not great, but you know, I'll come back to it at some point in the near future, and we'll do another review on it. It could improve over time, you know, these things do. Ciders tend to improve over a period of time. However, we're talking the crappy cider kits, folks. Cider kits are really difficult to get right, and I've yet to find a cider kit that I can get on with. There just aren't any out there. I've used Munton's Gold, and the Muntons are usually okay. Their kits are pretty okay-ish. That was bloody horrible. Again, too much artificial flavouring in there. I even tried to help it along with some 775 yeast. In this instance, I've just used the yeast that came with the kits. I chucked both packets in, no need not to really. And it went off okay as it should have done, and it was absolutely fine, no problems at all with fermentation. However, it's a strange one. It really is a strange one. It really does smell artificial. I don't want to say sickly, but it, you know, it doesn't taste like mixed berries. It doesn't smell like mixed berries. It certainly doesn't taste like mixed berries. But it's a lot smoother than it would have been if I'd just chucked the cider kit in on its own and brewed it up to 23 litres with water. Now, of course, if you're going to do a cider kit, you can choose to replace some of that water, or even all of that water, with supermarket apple juice, if you want, to try and get some sort of better flavour out of it, and obviously use the 775 yeast or an alternative liquid yeast, the one from wire yeast, the Smack Pack version of 4766, I think that one is. Give that a go even. However, you know, it's like, I don't want to say this, but it's like polishing a turd, folks, isn't it? If you've got a not a very good product to start with, you can try and throw anything you like at it, and it's not going to improve it. You need to start off with a really good base. You know, the lager is not bad. The Wilco's lager kit, the light golden lager kit, it's not bad, you know, it's okay. The cider kit, however, is a little bit rubbish. But then, that, you know, I'm not slating Wilco's here. All cider kits, in my opinion, are a little bit rubbish. I've yet to find one that I like, and I've tried loads. But I don't drink cider as much as I used to. In fact, I hardly drink it at all now, because I'm into doing my own beers and things. However, you know, I used to be a cider head, and now I'm a beer head. Because, you know, times change, don't they, folks? But yeah, oh, pardon me. Would I do it again? No. No, I only did it because I had the kits lying around and they were coming towards the end of their use-by date. And I thought I'd just basically give it a go and get it out of the way and see how it turned out. I mean, if it was a reddish colour as well, I think they need to do something about the colour, because when you pour the concentrate into the fermenting bin, it's really dark, sort of black curranty flavour, berry sort of colour, you know, and it ends up like that. And even without the lager in there, it wouldn't be too dissimilar to that colour. It's sort of, I can see what they're trying to do, but it just doesn't work, folks, I'm afraid. So yeah, maybe I'll leave it for a while before I chuck it. Can't see myself going back to it, really. you know, maybe give it to somebody I don't like very much. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Anyway, I just thought I'd give you an update on that one. What else is going on? Yes, the fridge is turning on and off in the background there, keeping a temperature of around about 20 degrees or so for last week's all grain that we did on the stove. That's coming out very well by the looks of it. It's fermenting, and you know, I can't complain. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Smells beery, and yeah, it's working, folks. So you know, what we need to do is probably what I'm going to do with this one, I think, is I'm going to leave it for maybe 2 weeks in the fridge before bottling it. So we'll come back to it in about a month or so, and we'll do a taste test on it. Hopefully it'll be all right. You know, we don't know, do we, folks? We've got to give these things a go. But it was all about the process, really, to show you guys out there how simple it is. And if I can do it, you can do it as well. It really is dead easy, and it's a good place to start, I think, for people that are only doing extracts and have got no idea really what's involved in doing an all grain batch. It's not the most difficult thing in the world. It really isn't. There's just a little bit more cleaning up to do afterwards. That's all. Other than that, fairly straightforward, really. I think we get confused by phrases like mashing and sparging, and I think those phrases on their own put people off that don't know what they're doing. Mashing is just steeping the grains, right, and keeping the temperature around about 65 degrees for an hour, which is what we did last week. And sparging is just rinsing them with the hot water. And that's it. I mean, it's not complicated, folks. It really is as simple as that. You don't need to be scared of doing all grain. However, you do need big tubs if you're going to do big batches and that. Personally, at the moment, I'll probably stick to doing small batches, because the good thing about doing small batches, of course, is if you don't like them particularly and you don't really know, and you're just starting out, which is a good thing, and if you're just starting out and you're doing small batches, you can get used to them slowly. And you can start doing your own recipes, and then you know, you can tweak them up to the bigger sizes if you like doing them. But you do need a bit more of equipment, and I haven't got the equipment or the means by which to purchase the equipment, so, or anywhere to put it, because obviously we're trying to sell the house at the moment, and if I get any more clutter in the house, the wife will go mental. And I can't afford to buy the stuff anyway, so you know, it doesn't really matter. I'll stick to the small batches in future, and it is a good thing to do, because like I say, if you give it a go and you don't like it, then you try a different one, and you've only lost 8 bottles instead of 36 pints or 40 pints or wherever high you're going to brew it to. So yeah, as you can see, there's some sedimentation in there. Sedimentation, as John says. Folks, I don't know what to say about this. I'm not disappointed, I'm just meh about it, because I had a feeling it wasn't going to turn out that good, and I was right. It's just the artificial smell. I have a problem with artificial smells. I just don't like them, and I don't think there's any need for them. But that's probably what keeps the kits at, you know, a very cheap price. But as I say, I've tried a really expensive Munton's Gold cider kit, and that was horrible as well. So I don't know what to tell you. You're better off using supermarket apple juice and just doing a turbo cider. Dead easy, a lot cheaper, and a lot nicer than some of these bloody kits, I'm telling you. So what's up next, folks? Well, brew wise, I've been wading my way down some of the beers in the Shed of Doom, and I'm very nicely wading my way through them, thank you very much. The Simcentra Ale is one of my favourites at the moment, alongside the Cascade single hop ale, and they're both one of my favourite beers. So I'm wading my way through those, and once those have gone down to basically nothing, then I'll kick another batch on, and we'll do whatever I think about doing at the time. I haven't really got anything in mind at the moment. I might do another all grain. I might just do a kit. I do have some kits in the cupboard. I've got the Ruby Red, St Peter's Ruby Red, and also the St Peter's Golden Owl that went bad for me. Hopefully when we do that again, that one will come out alright, and if it doesn't, then it's obviously something that I don't like. There's something wrong with that, but I'm convinced that that was off, and it wasn't anything to do with the flavour of the beer. It was just an off kit for whatever reason. Something had gotten into the fermenting vessel, or you know, I don't know. I genuinely don't know, folks, and I never will. The only way I will find out, I guess, is to do the kit again, and if it turns out alright, then yeah, I must have had a little germy in there or something, and I didn't like it, or maybe some, you know, something rogue got into there as I was fermenting it. I don't know. It's very unusual because, you know, I do a lot of batches of beer, and I've only had 2 instances where I've had off beer in what, 3 years. So, but it does happen. It does happen, and it happens to the best of us. And it basically just tastes like vinegar, and you get an off smell. You know straight away. You can just smell it. There's this, it's like a sulphury kind of smell that and not nice. It's like the sulphur when you do normal fermentation with some yeast. You get sulphur smell off of the yeast, don't you? And it's almost like that smell hangs around and goes off and just won't go. And the lager just tastes horrible. It's exactly the same taste I had with the strawberry pale ale, the Bulldog kit. Very, very strange. I don't know what's happened, but hopefully when we do it again, it will turn out alright. So maybe I will do that one next, the Golden Owl, again. And I'll video it probably this time, just to show you what I'm doing, so you know I'm not doing anything awkward. If it does come out funny again, I can show you the video and go back on that and say, look, you folks saw what I did. I didn't do anything different. I just chucked it in the fermenting vessel, put the yeast in and did a runner. So I might also swap the yeast out. I'm not a lover of those yeasts that come with Wilko's, sorry, the Muntons. Again, Muntons do Wilko's kits, and Muntons look after the St Peter's kits too. The Muntons yeast, not a massive fan of those. I will replace it with something else. Don't really know. I've got I might have an English ale yeast in the fridge, liquid, that I could just chuck that in, and we'll do that instead. Don't know, we'll see how we go. So I'll probably do that next week, folks, once I've bottled that all grain, and I've got the fridge free to just stick it in there and leave it fermenting in there, probably around about the same temperature, 20-21 degrees, something like that. And hopefully it will turn out alright. Nothing else to report in the way of brewing. I have ordered some little bits and pieces, a very small amount, you know, like a yeast, bit of yeast, and what else have I ordered? I can't remember. Some things that I saw a recipe that and I can't even remember what the bloody recipe is now, so that's no good to me at all, is it? And I thought, well, I'll order the bits to do that yeast, and then I forgot what bloody recipe was I was going to make, so I'm just going to end up with more stuff now I can sit and stare at and go, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I have to chuck it into a recipe of some sort, come up with something, won't we? And yeah, so thanks for watching, Folky Pokies. I'm sorry I haven't got any sort of brewing going on this week, but hey, you know, I need to wade my way down the shed and also get that all grain bottled before I do another brew, and then obviously we'll move on from there. So next week I probably will chuck on the St Peter's Golden Ale, just so you guys can see what I've been doing. So if it does turn out horrible again, then at least we've got a reference and we can go back to it and we can see, well, you know, Roy did that wrong. And I'm fairly sure I didn't do anything wrong, folks. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. Something just, you know, didn't work out, and maybe it is the flavour of that particular ale, but I don't know. As for this, don't bother, folks. Don't bother with the Wilko's cider range, especially the pear one. The pear one is just horrible. Don't go anywhere near that one, it's disgusting. I don't know how they're still selling them. I mean, somebody must be buying them, I don't know. Maybe people that just don't know a decent cider if it smacked them in the face. Honestly, I genuinely don't know. I do have some intelligence, folks, that the Wilco sale is going to be back on around about September time. Alright, so beginning of the first couple of weeks in September, expect the Wilco sale to be back on again. They haven't had one at all this year, which is unusual. There is going to be one come in September time. Trust me, I'm a doctor, not actually a doctor. So yeah, that's all from me. Thanks for watching as usual. Thanks for giving me the thumbs up. Thanks to all the new subscribers as well. Good to see you. You're very welcome. Hopefully you find something useful out of all these ramblings, and you have a good time while you're here. If you do, give us a thumbs up. If you don't, go and watch CraigTube or somebody else. Alright, see you next time. Ta-da.